Welcome, everybody, to the 5-Star Frogcast. I am your host, Kevin Benet Amador, and with me, still the champion. That is one thing I'm kind of surprised about, but you did it.
Boom, baby. We
You
know how it rolls.
You are actually still the champion. So, congrats.
You want
Give
to
yourself
hear
a pat on the back for that one.
You want to hear something crazy?
Oh, yeah?
I might have to retire. Might be my last podcast. If people remember what I said. What did I say? If Eddie Kingston gets more stars than the Seth Rollins, I'm done. And guess what happened?
No, he didn't.
Shinsuke and okay,
Yeah.
On your opinion, let me hear your thing. You saw the two matches, right? What would you give
Stampede
the
match?
stars?
Oh, no,
Not
it was the
Stampede.
tag match.
The tag match and then Shinsuke match. What would you give Shinsuke and Seth Rollins match? Honestly,
5 stars. Four and a half.
stars?
4.5. 4.5.
Okay, what would you give Eddie Kingston's match? Honestly, like no bias towards him, like just as a match.
Yeah, like a 3.5.
Okay, switch them around, and that's what.
No way.
Yeah,
That's what Dave Meltzer gave it.
Yeah. 3.5 stars for Shinsuke's match and 4.5 for Eddie Kingston's match. Yeah. 4.5 stars. Yeah.
Nah. This is declaring war.
David Meltzer.
Frogcast declares war.
Yeah. David Meltzer was sniffing salt because he gave Rhea a 1-star match, right? Which is okay. You know, it wasn't the best match, but he gave Rey Mysterio a 3.5. 3.5 for Mysterio. That was the worst match of the night. No, he gave our boy LA Knight and The Miz 2.5 stars.
Nah.
Yeah.
We declare war. We officially declare war on you.
Are mad.
This is our We're gonna print out a paper, declaration of war. Find your email.
Maddening. I've been looking at the ratings all week to see what he get because I was very curious what he'd get the KO and the.
What did he give that one?
5 stars.
Okay.
That was a 5-star match.
So he was sober for that match.
Yeah.
I
think he gave Trish and Becky either 4.5 or 5. I think it was 4.5.
Okay.
But then I know for a fact to give Miz and LA Knight 2.5.
No, Miz and LA deserve
3.5.
3.75 to 4.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio.
Shinsuke was definitely 4.5. I like that match a lot, but okay.
Yeah, and then Rey Mysterio for like one of the worst matches of the night, sponsored by Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Again.
It was at least 2.5 in my opinion. At least it's the lowest I'd go. The highest I'd say 3.5, sure.
Yeah.
But Rhea was, I think, 3.5. 3 the lowest, 3 the half the highest. Which was in the right range. But he gave that a 1 star. Which I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, the fact that you're actually on this podcast is a little. I mean, you did say you would come on one more podcast.
Yeah, this might be it. I might be gone for a while. I'll see me for a bit.
Let's get Tony on here more. All because of one man, Eddie Kingston. You know what? I think we have to go to AEW meet and greet and meet him.
I think so. I gotta ask him the question.
I know, and you know what I need you to do? I need you to do his finisher to him. Like, just turn around and slap him.
Just the backhand.
We get all the video.
And
then you probably get tackled. But
it's okay. Mission accomplished. I looked at it. I kid you not, people on YouTube, TikTok, wherever you're watching this, listening to this, and to you, Kevin, I spent days clicking the link to see what the star matches were given. And when I saw Payback, I was like, okay, let me see. And I was first match, I was like, all right, okay. I agree. 4.5 stars, 5 I can remember. Good. And then I went down 2.5 for Miz and LA Knight. I was like, oh, this is not gonna end well. And then 3.5 for Rey. I was like, oh, okay, not my personal favorite. I think it was the weakest match of the night, but good for him. He liked it. KO's match, 5 stars. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen. For arguably match of the year candidate, which, by the way, shout out to Chad Gable and Gunther for another potential
match of the year.
Gunther.
They could have another one at I think they're probably gonna do it Fastlane. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully Iron Man match. That's the big thing.
I want a 2 or 3 falls match.
That would be good too. Yeah.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
No. Anyway, so you move on. Rhea got a 1 star, which I was like, oh, okay. And then 3.5 stars. And then I was just curious. Oh, yeah. It's just
Interesting. Anyways. Interesting stuff. But anyways,
that's the stars. Those were the stars.
That was an interesting start there. I wasn't expecting that, but that's good that you brought it up.
Yep.
And we are officially declaring war on Dave Meltzer. We've had enough of your dumb ratings.
It's so dumb.
I don't know what you have for Eddie Kingston, but
the match was
disgrace to the wrestling community.
So we got to talk about the big thing. I mean, the big thing is Punk. Do we want to say that near the end, or do you want to talk about it now? I feel like there's a lot more we can talk about it, so we could leave it to the end, right?
I guess.
You want to talk about the big news? Big news WWE? Just announced.
I feel like we should save that for the end. I feel that's bigger than Punk right now. Punk's,
right,
been big, Punk. But it's been a week or so.
Okay, let's talk about Punk.
CM Punk.
A little quick recap what happened for people who
Brooks.
Yeah. A little quick recap that happened if people aren't aware. Basically, Jack Perry was like asked Shivani and about to use real glass for a segment. He said no. He asked Punk. Punk said no. Jack Perry threw a hissy fit. Fast forward to All In, where basically they're matching for Punks. He tapped on the glass and said, "Look, real glass, cry about it." After that match, they went to the back. Apparently, there's a big brawl that happened. Apparently, I guess at some point, whether it was
Tony
after
Khan.
Punk's match, it was either
life
after
was in
Punk's
danger.
match, either after Punk's match or before. I didn't read much into that part. He felt his life was in danger as a wrestler, as a promoter, and basically
there's a good clip of it too.
Oh, there is an amazing clip. And if anyone knows, basically anyone who's in the wrestling world, like Vince Russo, I'll use him as an example, basically bashed him. And I don't know how much people know about Vince Russo and the Jim Cornette feud. These guys have been beefing forever. Jim Cornette is literally Jim Cornette has made it his lifelong dream to piss on Vince Russo's grave when he dies. Like they're just that heated. Two opposite sides of wrestling's clashing, and they each don't like each other. But I think this is the only thing they both agree on: how dumb Tony Khan sounds. So there's a big issue. Yeah. Vince Russo basically explained that he's like, that shit happened all the time when I was a promoter, and he worked for WWF and WCW. And WCW at the time, where everyone's egos were super huge, Hulk Hogan's, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall's, all of them, right? They got the money, got the control, so of course his life probably was in danger, but he said, nah, you just rub it off, who cares? Brock Lesnar got a title thrown at Vince McMahon, or Brock Lesnar threw his title at Vince McMahon. Like I don't care. I'd rather Punk yell at me than Brock throw anything at me, especially that is gold.
Yeah,
and it whipped it at his face.
I mean, we don't really know exactly what happened, but the video is great because Tony Khan, whenever he talks out in public, goes in these press conferences, like his facial expressions just do it all.
He doesn't. The issue is he doesn't have a facial expression. It's like you could tell he's not been in this business. Like you look at someone like Triple H who comes on and he does his press conference. He has the facial expressions. It's
you really can't compare the two because one.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you could tell who's been in the business and who's just tagging
the business guy.
Like Tony's just sitting there, just like.
My life was in danger at a pro wrestling.
Like. Honestly,
it's a classic. We got to put it on here.
We will definitely, if the editor can get that clip and just post it.
That's great. That'd be awesome.
Hilarious.
Never in all that time have I ever felt until last Sunday that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
That being said, sure, Punk went overboard, whatever.
Oh yeah. We don't. I mean, maybe something was thrown. Maybe.
I think Tony Khan's digging himself a grave when first off, he fires him before All Out, right? So All Out,
which was the right thing to do.
No, of course, I'm not saying it's wrong. If he actually felt like, you know, people's lives are in danger and all that, sure. This is where I think he's burying himself. First, you don't have to go out and explain on like a little screen about that whole thing where he's like, my life was in danger. You don't have to do that. You released your press. You did all that. You're done. You don't go on camera and talk about it. And then second, he tried to calm down a collision crowd in Chicago.
Yeah,
which was the dumbest thing you could have ever done. You should have just took your licks. Yeah, said, you know what, we're doing this big thing. I'm gonna keep in the shadows for a couple of weeks, and then eventually I'll come out again.
Yeah.
But as of right now, you stay in the back. You fired him. But if you're going out, at least make it an angle. When Vince screwed Brett, Vince made it an angle. He said, "No, I didn't screw Brett. Brett screwed Brett." So like, if you're going to do that, make it an angle. Don't sit there and just be like, "Oh, you know, I'm from Chicago too, guys," and all this other. No, they don't care. You just fired their messiah, basically, essentially. Chicago, what CM Punk is to Chicago is what Edge is to Toronto, or Trish Stratus is to Toronto. Like, it's that big. They're that big for them.
Yeah.
I'd even argue Calgary to Bret. Calgary loves Bret Hart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Tony messed up.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have done that. But you know what?
Live and learn.
You only learn one way. So
I give him credit trying to use Bryan Danielson as a scapegoat in the sense of, okay, let's hit the crowd back on our side.
And the crowd was still really good for All Out, to be honest. Like, the main event was really loud, everything. It was good.
Yeah,
so they still put on a good show. I told you it was gonna be 3.5 hours minutes though, and it did. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, CM Punk's gone though. You know, does he come to WWE? Does he not?
I heard rumors. I heard a little funny thing. I want to quickly mention it. I saw something, you know, looking through the dirt sheets. You know, someone made an interesting suggestion. You know, Randy Orton. There's rumors that he's eventually coming back. There's something going on with Riddle right now, which I don't know full details, so I don't want to get into it just in case I get something wrong. But there's something going on with Riddle, and they're saying basically they can see where Randy Orton's looking for a new tag partner, and they bring in Punk, and there's your new tag team.
I don't
Something
know if
interesting.
those two could work. Okay.
But they eventually they wouldn't stick as a tag team. They would split and feud.
Yeah.
We've talked.
But
about
honestly,
it.
the thing is that if Punk comes back, I really just want him to like do something with Triple H. Because we all know.
Interesting. It's just the issue though with Triple H is his heart.
Yeah, but
he's got a pacemaker in it, so it's kind of hard for him.
Yeah.
To wrestle, but
doesn't mean we can't see something funny.
Yeah, it's not something we could see.
Rollins,
Sean, maybe some of the younger guys. Maybe that's Braun Breaker's first opponent. Punk versus Braun Breaker. Who knows? Carmella Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, Survivor Series is in Chicago this year, so there's a bunch of talk going around now that Punk's gonna be there because it's in Chicago and it makes sense. And honestly, I don't see it happening. I'm gonna be honest with you.
If it is, it's gonna be a one-off appearance. It's gonna be at the Royal Rumble.
No, it won't. If he comes, it's not a one-off. He's here. He's here on a contract for at least 6 months to a year, if not longer.
How would you feel about Logan Paul versus CM Punk?
CM Punk would never do it.
You don't think so?
Right now, he would never do it.
You don't think so?
Nope.
You don't think
he wouldn't even want to talk to them.
Wow, interesting.
Come on, we know Punk now. We know how Punk is. He would not want to talk to him.
That's true.
He couldn't deal with a 24-year-old wrestler. Now he has to deal with a 24-year-old wannabe wrestler. He won't put up with it. No. He won't do it.
Maybe.
I think the only people he would work with are like the professional ones, like Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth.
The Shinsuke's, like Rollins, those guys. Yeah. Like he work with them.
Probably.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. His ego would get into the way of Roman.
You think so?
If they did a Roman, honestly, this is what I see.
He put Roman over though when the Shield first started.
Yeah, way back.
So I don't think he would.
No,
be all against
I have a bad feeling now.
You think Punk's
it would be WrestleMania 40, let's say. Let's just plan this out.
Okay.
And the plan is to have Punk lose to Roman in the main event.
Yeah.
He'd do exactly what he did at WrestleMania 30 and leave.
That's fine. Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way,
if he's going anywhere, Punk's going to UFC because he has some real fights to settle out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's he gonna fight? because there's some people
He's
out
got-
there that probably he's got.
He got tons of people. The amount of fuel he has inside of him. The amount of fuel inside of him right now.
Him versus Alex Pereira would be a great
Book
match. You would get killed.
UFC
Him
296. Yuri Prohaska out.
UFC
Back up.
UFC
CM Punk.
300. Put the middleweight title on the line. Sean Strickland. Or Strickland, sorry, not Strickland. Strickland. Yeah. Sean Strickland versus CM Punk middleweight title. With co-main event Ronda Rousey versus a returning Amanda Nunes. And then your third belt, the co-main event, Khabib comes out of retirement to face Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor in a triple threat match.
Oh,
because
man.
They merged.
They did. They finally did it. UFC, WWE are finally together. The deal went down today.
Yep.
Well, the deal that was made official like months ago is official now.
Yeah, the purchase has been completed.
Yeah, it's complete now.
Endeavor owns, right? I said 51% of WWE, which is a lot for Vince to give up.
It is.
So I wonder what's really going on with Vince. What's his
maybe Vince is just slowing down. Maybe he likes growing out the mustache and not doing much stuff anymore.
He's got the dark hair again,
but
he's going through his senile age.
Yeah, he's going through his last little bit here. So there's opportunities now, right? There's there could be unexpected returns. There could be something Punk. I don't know. There could be budget cuts though. I know it's crazy, like all the money they have, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some budget cuts. Hopefully, Hit Row and some other.
I think honestly, the few people I can see going are Hit Row, definitely one of them.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say it, because I like him, but Karrion Kross, because he's just been meh.
Yeah, honestly, Karrion Kross, he's
honestly the OC. They haven't been doing much.
Yeah, they can just go back to TNA, AEW.
Yeah. Maybe Mia Yim. Maybe I guess you heard they just have to let it go.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Dexter Lumis hasn't really done much.
Yeah, true. Dexter. I think they're trying to wait for some. I don't know. Johnny again is another one, but I think H likes Johnny too much to not.
Yeah, no, I don't think he would do that. But
yeah. So the UFC and WWE are now in their own kind of sports group with Endeavor called TKO as a stock market or
stock market name. Yep. Stock name.
Yeah, stock name. And I looked up their current selling price is actually $100, which I think is pretty cheap for what they are. I thought they'd be a bit more, but as a starting price, it's not bad. $102, so that's about US dollars. We're Canadian, so we have to obviously convert.
It's probably like
conversion.
It's close to 150.
Yeah, but $100 US dollars, which will be about if you bought like 10 shares, which is usually a decent amount if you're gonna buy, is about $1,000, a bit above it. Just going off quick math there. So I mean, yeah, this is big things with especially UFC 300 coming up and WrestleMania UK. This is gonna be good business. We could see a current takeover with UFC and WWE, each helping each other out reach different type of platforms. Because UFC likes to travel the world. They have
now they
have what's the upcoming one with Islam and
they're going to they're going back to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi.
That's the one. They have that location set down. Yeah, that's been since COVID time. That's their set location.
And now with WWE, who's to say that WWE's like, what? Why not?
Yeah.
Bring people over, try to get them to come to WWE, vice versa. WWE has India. We might see eventually an event with UFC in India. I don't think we have really, right?
No, but I also don't think. I don't know if there actually is. There might be a few Indian fighters, but I don't think there actually is.
But the idea is
honestly the roster, like UFC roster, is like way bigger than like
what it shows. It's
So maybe there is. They're just not ranked. So honestly, if they're not ranked, I don't know. Sorry.
No.
Unless
there probably is some unranked, but there's also probably some that have the descent, like they're from descent they're Indian American.
But that's what they typically like to do. But who cares about any of that? Because they need to come to Toronto, Canada.
Actually, I'm glad they didn't come to Toronto, Canada.
No, not for that. Not for that card. No.
That was brutal. No, but yeah, they definitely need to come to Toronto, Canada. Toronto, Canada is itching for one. Montreal as well. The issue is who's the big UFC Canadian guy right now?
We got some guys.
We don't have a George St. Pierre right now.
No, but we don't need that. I don't want that.
But that's what they usually do. They like to
go
build
America.
Around their guys. They like to
go
build
Sean.
Around their guys. I would love Sean to come to Toronto.
Can Sean Strickland please come on WWE?
Hey, McGregor might come to WWE.
Nah, he won't do it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Him versus. There's some wrestlers. Him versus The Miz.
We can finally see DC versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's potential in both a wrestling match and a UFC match.
Nah, UFC only.
Honestly,
Old
Brock could
timers.
go. Brock could go back.
Yeah, just
If he
for
really wanted to.
even though he's pretty much said officially he's done with MMA. He doesn't want anything to do with it anymore.
It's gonna be hard for him to get natural, but there's a possible chance.
He'll get back. If McGregor can do it, he can do it.
That's true. But no, it's very, very interesting for the WWE and UFC to get. They got their. It's finalized.
I wonder how what Tony Khan's thinking right now. What is he gonna be cooking up? Maybe he's gonna do something in Bellator.
That's what I'm thinking. Could you imagine? Because they have done some stuff
Or
in American Top
the
Team.
PFL.
Can we see a cross promotion? Francis Ngannou shows up at AEW, but Tyson Fury already showed up to WWE.
Exactly.
So that's interesting.
Well, this works for a lot of things, to be honest. Because
At least
then
they
it
go
comes.
open.
Yeah, and I mean, sky's the limit, right? Two of the biggest companies in sports entertainment.
Yep. That basically
coming together
started
to make one big
global. You gotta realize also these are two people that started their company. They took something as simple as MMA and professional wrestling and changed it forever. Like Vince was the first one to be like, okay, we're going to do WrestleMania. We're going to have celebrities. We're going to all do this. And he created WrestleMania. And Dana White and a couple of people were like, no, MMA is going to be like, basically, everyone's going to put the best martial arts in the world. They're going to compete against each other. And it's going to be all this stuff with it. And it's going to be.
And it really wasn't anything until McGregor came on.
McGregor did make it big. John Jones had his moment. There was a Chuck Liddell. I think there was a point when Chuck Liddell retired. There was stuff like that happened. But yeah, McGregor obviously made it big.
McGregor really boosted everything.
You could say the same thing about Hogan, right? Hogan came and made it big. If it wasn't for Hogan, who knows what WWE would have been like.
It's true. But that's the whole point, right? Finding the right guy.
This is the future right now for WWE.
Yeah, this is the future for WWE, future for sports entertainment. If you're a stock person, it might be not a bad buy.
No. If you have the extra cash,
it is new, so I don't know how risky you like going, but if you have a lot of money and you just want to throw it around,
that's not a bad stock to buy. They're an entertainment business. Obviously, I don't think they're going to compete with Disney Plus right now. All we know, TKO can eventually have their own streaming thing. Because they
could team up with Disney Plus. That would be big.
That would be big.
I wouldn't necessarily be a fan of it, but it'd be big.
I don't think so. Especially the way they're kind of going. They're kind of going more TV 14A.
Yeah, well, Disney Plus has a lot of stuff like that. You'd be surprised.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, that's true.
They have their Disney stuff, but they actually have a lot of.
Yeah, that's fair. They are going more. They are going more in that direction. But
I wonder what AEW is going to do now, because this is big.
They should be very interesting. But I mentioned this to you, because ESPN is a big one for UFC. Yeah. Can we see a potential buy by ESPN to get a Raw or a SmackDown? Because right now Fox has SmackDown. We could see ESPN. We kind of already saw like a first take, I think it was
Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. gonna take over wrestling.
But what's his name? Paul Heyman was on Stephen A. Smith's show.
Yeah, he was.
Take, and he called him. He basically said He basically trashed Bobby the Brain Heenan because he's dead, and then he's the GOAT at being the best manager.
Yeah.
But that's already a sign of ESPN, and that's a sign of
I think Roman's been
out.
That would be the first time Roman's been on there. I'm pretty sure some other guys have been on there though. But
yeah, And this is, again, it could be how this is a big thing for UFC. You know, UFC is big partners with ESPN. ESPN does rely on them a bit. So there you go. They can come in, do their thing, and let WWE get a bit of the profit, and vice versa. You know, Peacock, you know, maybe UFC gets a bit of the Peacock money there. You don't know what can happen. Like I said, they could create their own network now, have just like UFC Pass and WWE like Pass, like stuff like that. It's big for WWE. It's big for professional wrestling. I don't think Tony Khan's pressure to do anything big, but
no, because what he's gonna say is, look, guys, they're doing all that, but we just sold out the biggest wrestling show of all time.
Exactly, that's the thing. So he doesn't feel pressure at all. He's just gonna do his thing. I think he just needs to deal with the CM Punk thing, and once the CM Punk thing's finally behind him, because I don't think it's still behind him. You know, there's still a little bit of waves crashing the ocean.
PTSD
per se. Yep. There's a little bit waves crashing in the ocean. Once the ocean and the tides settle, he'll be on a smooth sail, hopefully getting his wrestlers in check.
Because it's not only CM Punk, it was other guys too. There's other guys too that need to get
of course.
Out.
But I mean, ever since Punk left, they instantly canceled the brand thing. So now anyone can show up on any show. Because the big issue was Punk was the one that wanted the whole Collision thing. Yeah, which makes sense. But now that's gone. So I hope Collision doesn't get treated like a third show.
Yeah. Well, I don't think... Do they even do Rampage anymore?
They do Fridays, yeah.
Really, eh? Rampage is sad.
Rampage is like... It's just... I feel bad. It could be a good secondary show.
It's too short.
Could be.
I don't know.
That's the issue. It's only an hour long. It's not long enough. It's just...
Like, I think... I don't know.
And you need stars on it, right? Like, right now... Rampage is what SmackDown was in the beginning, you know? But when SmackDown first came out, they put stars on it. They put The Rock. They put Triple H. With Rampage, they never done put their big stars. They never put the Young Bucks more fully on there. They did.
CM Punk made his first return on Rampage, so
yeah, exactly. And that was probably their biggest episode ever.
Probably, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They can rework some things out, or just get rid of Rampage. I think they should just get rid of it.
No one's running Saturday night wrestling. Friday, you know, WWE has. You have Wednesdays locked down. You know, WWE has Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, and then Saturdays for pay-per-view, which you're competing with Collision. Let them run their side of the coin. Why don't you take Wednesdays and Saturdays? No one's competing with them, right?
Yeah.
You get more eyes on you. When Wednesday comes on, guess what? People are going to watch your show. When Saturday comes on, people are going to watch your show because there's nothing on. WWE has nothing right there. They just play reruns of their show that people miss. But if you play your show first, I mean, yeah, you know, we'll see. Maybe I feel like they should treat Rampage like a main event. You know, sometimes if you go to a WWE event, main event gets played first.
Yeah, but then what's the point of well, I don't even know. Hopefully they don't do it. Dark
goes on their YouTube, and I think Dark should go on their YouTube. Let that be their YouTube thing.
That's just too much shows at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, there is always going to be too much shows with these guys. They've already digged themselves. They have so many titles.
And that's when you have to look at your roster and really
dissect.
You're going to have to cut a lot of people, because if you're not going to use them, what benefit is it to them to be on a contract when they're not even being used?
Or even that, if you're going to use them, send them to, because AEW is very open. Yeah, very open. I bring out AEW is very open to letting people work to different indie companies. Why not do rentals? Do what soccer teams do, football teams do. They rent players out for a certain amount of money that they get back, and they can take it back when they need it. Or if they're not fulfilling the role that you want. You can easily do that with people who aren't on the main roster. You can give them a chance to be rented out for I'm just going to use a hypothetical. Let's just say Dark Order, okay? Let's say, there's 3 people. Oh, you have a big trios match with your tag team champion. Okay, you're going to go to England. You're going to give us I'm just throwing a number out there, $10K. Just an example.
Yeah.
And boom, you pay them $10K. You keep them for however long the feud is or whatever you want to do with them, and then you send them back, and there you go. Now, not only you're getting people exposed to your business, you're getting people back, and I think there's a way they could do it where they can get money.
That's not a bad idea. Or
let some wrestlers get exposed.
G1 Climax. You can send
Eddie Kingston was there. 10
to 15 wrestlers.
Bryan Danielson was supposed to be there, but he got injured, right? So the whole match was to set up the Bryan Danielson to go to Japan. But of course, his injury happened, and he
Yeah.
couldn't. So, but that's the
It's
idea.
not a bad
I'm
idea.
with it. I like
I
that.
actually like that idea. Tony Khan should. I mean, he's in the soccer/football business. He knows how it works.
Yeah, he understands it. Start treating it like that when it comes to that. Those type of videos.
If that's possible, if we don't know, but if it's a possibility that he can do something like that.
And I mean, like, he definitely, you can't tell me that doesn't happen, because Will Ospreay was in 2 events. Yeah, sure, one was a indoor event, but the other one was in Wembley. He probably spent a good chunk of money to get him there.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly
Next to the 2
fine.
songs he's paid for, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to start making a bit more money. He's running out.
He needs to start making smarter business moves, more or less.
Mhm.
But
yeah,
it is interesting. We'll see what comes about. You know, a lot of people over like social media and the comments, they're just making jokes about like UFC, WWE crossovers and matches and fights.
Forbidden Door WWE versus UFC. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? That'd be hilarious.
Survivor Series, WWE, UFC
Versus
style.
the War Games, the American top
Team Chandler versus Team McIntyre. But no,
American
it's,
top team versus the Judgment Day. It's
I don't think
possible.
Tony Khan would be too pleased about that because he kind of did that. But
Hey, look, it's okay. They'll take it.
honestly, I don't think stuff like that will happen.
No.
If it does, that's funny and cool. But I think it's more like the certain wrestlers, like Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, if Logan Paul, because he's under WWE, if he really wants to, he said he wants to do MMA, he has an easy
There you
way to
go.
go in now.
I also think this benefits a lot from the UFC people. Like we're just talking about, we're talking about the people who are ranked. What are the people who are struggling to make it, right? People, you know,
They're athletes. They can still pull off something, maybe.
Yeah. Hey, you're like a 25, 26, 27-year-old. Some college people, they hire people to go to the combine and scout people who are not going to make the NFL to then bring them over to WWE and train them. Why not do the same for UFC? You know, this guy's 27. You know, his last 5 fights, he's won 1, lost 4. He's not going anywhere. Hey, how about you just, you know, here's like 10K for like 3 years. Come work.
It'd be
for
more
us.
than that, but yeah.
Yeah, you get 10K a year.
It'd probably be more than
30K.
that.
It'd probably be more. A developmental deal, I don't know how much they would give. I think they'd probably give out like 100K.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe 60 to 100K, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, you know, 3 years, you come work with us, you know. If you
Yeah.
don't like it, then guess what? You don't have to stay, but let's try to train you. Let's try to make you, and it gives more people to come in, more potential opportunity for wrestling. I think it's going to benefit WWE a lot because they're going to take the
Especially
unwanted toys.
The Dana White Contender Series.
Exactly.
The people who
I was
lose
telling you
those
this.
fights.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the guys
Perfect.
who could benefit from this. So
Perfect. Exactly. They could come in. Okay, you didn't get it. How about you just come here and, you know, try it out for, here's a tryout.
Triple H is going to be
back.
backstage with those and be like, look,
Yeah.
man, I know you lost.
Yeah.
It sucks. But there's a better
Come
world
back.
out there for you in the WWE.
Like Shayna Baszler, who fought twice in the UFC, lost both times.
I
She went
didn't
to
know that.
WWE.
I didn't even.
Matt
I actually
Riddle
thought
was-
she never made it there.
Yeah, no, she did.
Didn't
Matt
look good.
Riddle was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
Obviously, he went to UFC, and then he really did. And
Well,
then
he
went-
also got into some problems with
Yeah.
doping
Dana
and
White.
everything.
Yeah. Dana White didn't really like him that much either. But then, anyways, he went to do wrestling. This is just an easier course where these guys don't have to go through the indie scenes. They go straight to WWE. They go to developmental. They learn from the best. They learn from Shawn Michaels, who's arguably one of the goats of wrestling. They can learn from Triple H. William Regal's still there. I think he's actually helping with training. I'm not sure what his status is with WWE. I don't even know if he's with them. But if he's with them, you got all that access there. You got so many good talents, so many good coaches. You got so many great people who can help out, like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. You know, Roman Reigns that you really want, you know, Paul Heyman. Can't believe I forgot Paul Heyman, who's literally one of the greatest minds in wrestling.
Yeah.
You got all these people there. Oh, Devon Dudley, by the way, he's pretty sure he's a WWE guy. He's helping them. I don't know any TNA guy. I'm pretty sure Abyss is also there.
Yeah, you have a lot of guys.
You got a lot of people who have the industry business in their head and they know how to do it. And so
Yeah.
I can help them out and development people that are not going to make it in UFC. You're doing it with WWE. They held tryouts at SummerSlam for people, college athletes and everything. this just gives them another opportunity to grab more talent that they like. And I think it's going to work.
Yeah, I agree. But only time will tell.
Mhm.
And until next episode, you can follow us on our Instagram page at the.5.star.frogcast, TikTok, YouTube. Go subscribe, go follow, like, comment. We reply at the 5-star Frogcast. We just put out a new TikTok.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Just go check it out.
Our most viewed probably by now.
Yeah, probably.
Mhm.
And where was I? Oh yes. Until the next episode, Tyler, it is time to ring that bell.
Ding ding ding.
And we'll catch you in the next one.